previous meeting.
Move to approve as written.
Second.
Motion second, we approve the minutes as written. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial statement. Chris?
Let's go ahead and take it to page 2 on the cash flow real quick. Looking at $836,556 per month. Our disbursements were $634,484, not counting our transfers. Our inventory purchases were $20,661. Capital expenditures were $172,238. Most of that was for the plant, with the upgrades out there. Left us with an operating balance of $464,813, so we're down a little bit farther. Go to page 3. Just want to point out that our revenues were up pretty nice for the metered residential, commercial, and industrial government compared to the forecast on the prior year. Our sales to resale were also much higher. Taking note of our service charges are down again since we're not charging any. We're close to what they usually are. Left us a net income for the month, $327,534. That bump things up nice. On page 4, everything's under forecast except for our miscellaneous. We had some building forms in there that were about $3,300, so that left us over a little bit. And I kicked our bad debt up a couple $100 just because of everything that's going on, and giving us a little bit of a cushion. And on page 5, just point a couple things out. Our second section from the bottom, our long-term debt. We're going to be making our bond payments this week. That'll kick that 2014 issue under $2 million. And then we'll only have 3 payments left on it, and they'll be gone. And then the only other thing I'd point out is our accounts receivable customer in section 3. We're below halfway down. The receivables are up to $766,402. And they generally run around 480 to 550, so we're up quite a bit without the turnoffs. But hopefully this is good things back down again.
Can I just make a comment on bonds?
Yeah.
Even though our bonds for 2014 are going to be done, that money then rolls over to the 2015 issue, and so we're not really saving that money. It's going to be parity if it goes right back in the bond payment. Well, we will, but not now.
Unless there's any questions, that's all I got.
Any questions, Chris? Just a comment. When we said penalties and service charges are down, last week we started our non-payments again, and people have been coming in and paying the bills, some in full. We haven't had a lot of complaints with those people. So that's a good sign. Tomorrow we'll do our second round again, and we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to do it 2 days a week instead of just one.
Second round of what?
Non-payments. We're going to do two days this week. We're going to do them Wednesday and Thursday.
You mean if they can't pay their water bill, you're going to do what?
We're going to shut them off. Again, we're going to do our non-payments again and start shutting people off.
I know, but you know what happens is...
Well, I'm not worried about what happens.
Well, but it's a pandemic. How people have to wash their hands?
We can shut them off.
Well, how they going to wash their hands?
Well,
the pandemic
pay the bill.
It's the nurses.
Explain that, because we discussed this. We did give them lenience at the beginning.
And again, the IURC, we have not turned people off since April. We just started turning people off again.
Right.
That was an order through the governor. The governor has not extended that. The IURC has not extended that. So we have...
So do you have to go along with it? You can't independently say, we're going to be good
I
at
think in
it?
the best interest of the department, yes, we do.
Yeah, but you're doing okay with the finance.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not.
We still can't turn people's water off when they have babies and,
That, they have money. So let me finish my story.
okay.
So we're gonna start again. We're following the guidelines of the IURC that we don't charge penalties or service charges for turn off or turn ons. So that's something we cannot do, we cannot ask for additional deposit. But we can give them up to 6 months to pay this, and we will do that, as we have in the past. So we can give them a payment plan up to 6 months to help pay this off. So that's what we're doing. There's a couple people that said, give me a couple weeks, and we've done that. Some, I don't think there's any ask for any more than that, but we can go up to 6 months, and we'll do that to help them out. But,
You turn it off in the meantime?
we'll turn it off, and when they come in and make arrangements with us, we'll turn it on. Now, if they turn it on themselves, that's a tampering with the public water supply. It's chargeable. It's a criminal offense. And we can also have them arrested for tampering with the water supply, which is a federal offense. So anybody that turns on the water on their own ought not to do it.
Oh, how can you do that? I mean, if they're desperate enough, they'll probably do it.
Well, we can go out and turn them off again, and I'll get over to the attorney, and we'll get the prosecutor involved and file charges. It's a theft of service. It's against the law.
I never
So-
saw any of that.
So anyway, we're fine with what we're doing. No one's complained to us. We haven't got any complaints. I know it's been on Facebook, but I have my feelings about that. So we're doing what's right, what's proper. We're following the guidelines of the IURC, who's the ones that tell us what we can do and what we can't do with public funds in our police department. So. And that was part of that thing that we joined with both McKay and Evans to learn all that stuff. And we're in fine shape. The attorney gave us the go ahead, go do what we got to do. So we're okay.
How many people are taking advantage of the payment
Taking advantage of what?
of the payment program?
There was only maybe 1 or 2 of last week out of 40 that we shut off. Someone come in and pay the full amount, and then most of them $300, $400. So,
Good to know.
yeah, and we'll work with them. I don't have a problem with that. That's what the requirements are, and I would have done that even if it wasn't the requirements. It's just that some people don't like the fact that, we're doing what we got to do to keep the department solid. This is our job. Nothing's free in life. NIPSCO's going to be doing the same thing. And I'm sure that the phone companies will do the same thing with the cell phones. If they don't pay their bills, they're going to get cut off. It's just as simple as that. It's a service that they owe for.
I don't think anybody's disputing that. Feel the death is coming.
Thank you.
I understand that too. But,
It does sound like the department's giving 4 months of grace, where we're not going to be bugging them about payments. Now they have to make arrangements to pay.
Right.
They're not pay it all at once. They have to make arrangements. They have to show up and prove to us that they're good customers.
Right, and that's a good thing.
and everything's fine. I mean, it's just what it is. And then people, they could have paid all along, and they just didn't want to. And that's what they do. So, but anyway, I'm just letting you know that we're following what the IURC guided us to do, and we're following the guidelines.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, list of purchase orders.
See a list of purchase orders, there's 7 of them. The biggest one here is for Ferguson Waterworks, that's that Michiana Shores project down Michiana Drive. We got the engineering drawings back on that. I think we got a few more days yet before IDEM. If we don't hear anything from IDEM, we have the blessing from them as far as the permit goes. So everything else is pretty much standard. The H&G underground utilities, that's that 2-inch service in Maine we're going to be doing on Colfax Ave, or on Illinois Ave, I'm sorry. And so everything else is routine.
Motion to pay the list of purchase orders dated August 25th.
I'll second that.
Second, we pay the purchase orders, any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. For the Clover Water Main Extension, move the bill on the Trail Creek.
Okay, this is a short extension. It would start on Risky Ave, cross Risky Ave and go down 170 feet on Risky Ave. I'm sorry, Whippoorwill to serve 103. John Lamb was an employee of ours, and he asked for a cost as well as bad. The house to the west of him has water. They have water off of Risky. The house immediately across the street, and then the other corner house would need an extension to get water to their house. So there's two other houses beside John that would benefit from this extension. The total cost for materials on this is $29,837. Labor is $12,473, which is something we normally pay. On a street crossing, that's in our policy that we would cover both labor and material for that. And then as far as the material goes, what I'd like to do, if the board would allow this, is to allow John to pay $8,319 for his frontage. And then the other two property owners, when they're ready to pay for water, get water, they would pay their third of the cost as well. We've done this in the past, it's worked out, and it just kind of helps our employee. He doesn't have that kind of money laying around.
Is there a commitment from Risky, the other two? There's no commitment that they will take in. You're just assuming.
Yeah, that's what they would have to pay. And again, if the job comes in cheaper, it would be whatever the cost is. If it runs more, it'd be more. But, so I'm just asking that we consider doing that for him. But again, we would pick up the total labor cost of everything for $12,423 plus the labor cost, or I'm sorry, the material cost on Whiskey Ave. And all the three homeowners would have to bear is at $24,957. And a third of that would be $813 or $319 that John would pay. I think it would show the employees that we're willing to work with them to do something like that.
The other two property owners, were they contacted?
No, they weren't.
Will they?
I mean, we can do that, but I don't know that they will do that.
What other time have we done? You said one or two other times.
We've done it on Black Oak Drive, off of Redwood Drive down there. That was almost 1,000 feet of pipe we put there, and I think we allowed out of the, I don't have the number of homes. I'm guessing 24 homes. I think we run so many homes a day, and they did, and then the other ones we paid when they had.
So you cut the cost in the past, the same thing that
Well, we
we did
didn't
with
count
John.
the cost. We absorbed the cost until they could afford to pay, and then they reimbursed.
But you are cutting the costs for our employee right here, and the assumption that the other two, because you're cutting one-third.
So they're going to be water at some point.
My question is, in the past, did you do the same thing when this other person wanted, and you said there was 10 homes or so you divided that by 10 and made them pay a portion?
No, it was the total project cost divided up by the number of homes, and each home had to pay their fair share. And then when if 20 of them paid and there was 10 that didn't, they had to pay their fair share of what the total price was for all the homes being divided up.
Yeah, I think we're not, okay, go ahead.
It's a big chunk of change even as you thought about offering it to the other
houses in the neighborhood, and further on down the line, extending it further across the street?
I have not, I mean, we could find out if anybody else is interested in it down to Edgemore, I guess it would be.
We've been trying to get into Trail Creek for a long time.
I understand.
So it's maybe a good opportunity to discuss the water in this neighborhood.
And I mean, the more homes you get involved, the cheaper it does get, so.
Well, I have no problem with this, and I think we discussed this in the past where people ask for, they're down the block, because our main objective is to get water and get more houses. And a lot of times, it's just too expensive. Someone wants it, and, I think I brought it up where I think we should call them or send a note for them, and, excuse me. So, I mean, and especially, I understand your employees, but I think if we do this for this, I think we should put some kind of protocol where if somebody else wants it down the block, it should be the same thing.
I'm not saying we can't do it.
We should in the future. Don't now.
And I use John because he is an employee, and I thought it would be nice to do this for him. I mean, otherwise he would have to pay the whole thing. So, but the house at 105, that's the house immediately to the east of his, is vacant. It's owned by a person that doesn't even live there any longer. It's vacant. It's pretty much gutted out, from what I understand. So I know that person would participate in it, but yeah, I can certainly send letters out and ask.
Yeah, what I'm worried about is somebody's listening to this that in the past, when we quoted them so much, and we just stood that ground that this is how it's going to be, materials and labor, instead of, this one, we'll give you, you're paying 1/3 of this. If somebody hears this, they're going to want the same
thing. Pay 1/3 of the materials for that the total cost would be for the 3 lots. He's not gonna, the total cost for them 3 lots is $24,000. You divide that up by 3 homes, it's $8,319. That's what each homeowner would have to pay.
Right. But you don't have that. You're assuming you're going to get this.
They're not gonna get water if they don't pay this.
No, you're tonight. Maybe not understand.
Well, now, they choose to stay on the well, right?
If they choose to.
That's right, but if there's water available, the state's got, the county's got a law now that if water's within 300 feet, which this will be, they will not permit a well any longer.
Okay, so.
And this is going to be cheaper than putting a new well.
I see that. I kind of understand. So if the well goes out, then you must tap. That's what
they'll pay for the main and then tap, just like he's going to have to pay for this cost and tap.
How much additional would it is it to, an estimate, to run across the street to the other house?
For a tap, it's $15.85, standard 1-inch tap fee.
For the ones on the south side,
they're going to pay the $83.19 plus another $15.85 for the 1-inch tap. And if the 1-inch taps go up, they'll have to pay whatever standard tap fee is.
right, I'm talking about the house on the south side.
That's right. That's $15.85. It's a standard fee, whether you're on the north side or south side.
So additional discussion. I guess I'd like to see us try to encompass as much as we can.
I agree. I think if we're going to do this, we should do it in blocks at a time, because then everything's valved properly and everything else. With this, you go 150 40 feet, 50 feet, and you gotta lay it backwards. It's hard to do. I mean, it's been done. We've done it for years. But I agree. I think we should take longer stretches and go from block to block instead of just little sections like this. But the thing is, if you can't get enough people to do it, he's going to be sitting whole bag with nothing.
Well, if we do it like we're doing it with him, with the other homes, I mean, they pay when they come in.
Yeah.
That would go with what we need.
I mean, if you think I should re-estimate this then for the entire block, contact those people and ask them if they're interested, see how many people are interested, then we'll have to determine what amount of homes we want to break it off at before we say we'll do whatever we want.
I think that's fair. I think that's, I was good, man.
I mean, I don't have a problem doing that, but what do you want to do with this one? How do you want to hold back on this until we...
We're kind of breaking protocol, that's the only thing.
We give them a rebate?
No, the material's going to be material for the job.
Does he have a bill issue now?
Yeah.
Well, what's the pleasure of the board?
How long has he been an employee?
Yes, 5, 6 years maybe.
I mean, the point of this is that if you're an employee, then you're getting fringe benefits, and then a customer should get the same thing. That's kind of my point.
We're paying the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just that
in the past we haven't.
I mean, if you wanted to be charged the full $24,000, we can do that.
Well, that's what you've been doing to everybody else.
But we've asked them to ask their neighbors to assist, which then that would divide that up equally for that cost. So if we charge somebody $50,000 and there's 5 homes, and each homeowner wanted to participate, they pay $5,000 or $10,000 apiece.
We just have,
I was gonna say that, I know, a couple meetings ago, we talked about, like across from Traditions and, there was like 8 houses that could tap in and, how much it would cost individually. And at that time, I thought you said whoever it was affecting should go talk to those people because you wouldn't talk to them. So now here we are today, we've got 3 houses.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And those people have not contacted me, or the person who requested that has not contacted me. I said I would assist them in going with them if they would call,
Okay.
and they have not contacted me.
Okay.
101 has water, right?
That's correct. And they pay for the main coming down on this, So the other 2 that don't have water will be 102 and 100. I mean, I can hold this back if you want, and I can...
Well, if someone tells the other 2 people, then
Well, I can ask him to talk to him. I mean, I don't have a
Right.
problem with that, but I would
Right.
but if he needs water now, this
Yeah.
is what it's going to cost.
Okay.
That was my, he wanted the cost, give him the cost. If he pays for it, then we know what the other people have to pay, at least for that group. We go further down, if it's cheaper because of the longer lay and we get more people involved, that's to their benefit.
yeah. And him being an employee, he could also go ask and help out, hey, will you,
He can
get your
ask.
water? No.
Yeah.
Right. Since, it's good numbers. Want to table this or just approve it?
You can make a motion.
Yeah. I think I do want to discuss this a little bit more to understand it. I don't know about you guys, there's a few more questions.
I know there used to be an unwritten rule that we would solicit.
What's that?
So I know there used to be an unwritten rule before I was superintendent, that we would not go around asking people to time.
Yeah.
And we'd ask the governmental entity, which would be the town of Trail Creek, and they have no funds available to do this. So it's, I can ask them if they have a problem with us talking to them. I don't think they will have, but I can certainly send a letter out, it doesn't hurt. If that's what you want to do.
I think that's a good idea. Send some letter. See what they say and we can move on.
How many homes are under Whippoorwill?
If you go between Risky and Johnsonville, there's quite a few. Just that one block. I know. Probably 2 dozen. Be my guess in that one block. And we're gonna get it for
Let it go up. Take it. Up with it. Take it.
total 14.
14.
Yeah. In that block. And I'm not counting the houses that have water.
Do we need any approval from the county?
Once, yes, we would have to get approval from Trail Creek to do it. I've already talked to their engineer. The trouble is, they got sewer on the north side and the south side, so that's why we have to stay in the pavement, which is gonna run the job more. And then, once we get it in there, then we'll have to pay the lane. But if people don't put taps in right away, we'll be back there cutting the pavement, or we have put taps in anticipation they make taps at later dates too, and then they'd have to pay for that, so that runs the job up. And we've had people pay later on. That's not an issue, it just saves us from going back out and cutting street. So it's not gonna be an easy job. I mean, it's just, but I do like the fact that I think we should do it block by block. So we get everything out properly and get, put hydrants where it need to be and flush. It makes it a lot more sense. But in this case, I just figured the short one for, and we would do it for anybody, just a short one like this too, so.
Are we required to put hydrants in?
Yeah. Because it's part of the meter cost, the fire protection, so they pay for 20 meters your cost for fire hydrants.
All right, well, what's the pleasure of the board?
Good, I'll move to just table this. I just have a few more questions after the meeting to clarify this and bring it up the next meeting. And we'll decide.
I'll second.
Motion is second, to table this. Contemplation. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. That's 9, yes is 9. David?
But I'm probably debatable because I just remember you saying at the last meeting, you have the majority of some of the employees, I believe, retiring. So one thing I was thinking is that if he's been here 5 years and he works for the water company or water works, we're not even gonna help him. That was my first thought.
Yeah, he's a young man.
You know what I mean? And you want him to stay here, and if it comes to you and he says, I need your help, and we say, you're not going to unless your neighbors do. That's not really right either.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but they haven't said no, they want.
I know.
Yeah, we're not saying no. My biggest worry is that, like earlier, we were talking about we need help paying the bills. Or there's plenty across this board where they want water and Randy quotes the material and labor, and that's pretty much protocol. And we send it to them, and that's what it is, you know? And I questioned plenty of times before, well, can we cut them because there's more? Can we call? But no, if they don't want it, they don't want it. Well, but this one now, because he's an employee, we'll have to cut a portion. Let's, you know, you're asking a favor. That I just don't want. I don't know. I just want to clarify.
Okay,
I don't want to do favors to employees and not do the same to the public.
Then let's quote the whole cost, except for the road cost.
That's my, what we'll discuss
The entire
this.
$24,000, just like we would anybody else.
That's my
And
only,
if he needs to talk to the other neighbors, that's something else.
exactly.
How did the person right here get hooked up?
Which one?
The one right here, how did they get hooked up?
They come off of Whiskey Island.
So, you know, in a way, couldn't that person have done it before too if they wanted?
They could extend.
You know what I mean?
Whiskey
So
Island.
maybe they don't realize that, you know, maybe some people don't realize what they can do, but maybe he at least works here, he knew. And what kind of issues is he having with the well? With his well?
I don't know whether it's bad water, or just not getting enough water out of it now.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's,
I'll chime in.
Then if you want me to quote the total material cost except for the road cost.
Because I understand where you're coming from too, but I also,
No,
I'd like to
agree.
see the
That
employees
was my
stay.
point.
You know,
Yeah,
I'd like to see the employees stay, and if he's been here at least 5 years, you said,
somewhere in there.
and we're not even gonna help him, that doesn't look good either.
But
Because he'll go home and talk to people and he'll
But
tell
I
them.
see
That's
all
what
the
I'm saying.
same.
Gus to say,
you're gonna get all the employees asking for favors. So this is the thing we have to, you know, and there's, I think we should discuss
But he's
this.
not asking for a favor, though.
No, I
He's
know.
gonna
I
be
think we
paying
should
for it.
discuss this.
He's gonna be paying
Let's
for
table
it.
this.
Yeah, it's not really a favor, because he's gonna be paying.
It's less of a cost.
He's gonna pay a third if the other two join in, correct?
Right, but we don't have the other ones joining in yet. And he's just paying a third, which
Does he know
before,
what his share is?
yeah, which
you will
before,
not until you.
they never.
Does he know it yet?
Well, I would suggest you put them 24,000.
Okay, that would be his whole portion if he's gonna do it on his own, right?
Right.
And that's what you're saying.
That's what we always did in the past.
And I can tell him that.
That's what I'm saying.
I
We always
see.
did that.
I
He
see.
can talk to the people on South
And I
Side.
know I sound like a bad guy, but I just,
No,
if
no,
we're
not
breaking,
at all. I'm
we're gonna be,
understanding.
this
I'm
is
trying
gonna
to
start other things.
So
that are
really,
coming.
what you're also trying to
understand.
I see your point, Gus, and I see everybody else's point. I was just, again, I wasn't trying to give anybody a break here other than the fact, well, yes, I was because I was an employee. But the fact is, if it was another person living there and not an employee, we probably put the $24,000 and have him talk to the other two people.
But at least
Then
you're
that's
still
the way we should
able and
do.
willing to hook them up. That's the key thing. You're willing to at least help them. Because you're able to go off that neighbor right there on the corner, right?
Well,
You're able to go off, to feed off of this one?
they gotta come off this, yeah, they can't come off the house.
I see what you're saying. I do.
So, okay, I will do 24,000, just like I estimated here, the 957, and let him make the decision to talk to the people.
Talk to the
Okay.
neighbors.
And then if they are on board, they pay the third, the equal cost.
Plus, I would send a letter out to everybody on the block.
Well, I'd have to estimate the whole street there.
Well, I mean, we can see where they're
I can.
Similar to a notification of intent, and said provide waters, are you interested in water?
You have to do that first.
I understand.
Well,
But I don't want to hold it up because I don't know what kind of conditions well, so, you know. So my point here then is, okay, we built 24,000, I can do the other 13, 11, 12 homes down there and ask them if they're interested, I can re-estimate it and get it to the person who's leading the bandwagon for that group. And if it's cheaper, it's cheaper. It's just the way it's gonna be.
So,
Okay, well, there's a motion on the floor, we table this for the,
I can we can't? No? Okay. Because, well, he wants this to get going, and you said,
well, we could still call it,
okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
we adjourn it something else. It's not that blank.
Okay, sounds good. Keep
But
it.
it's, now we have a motion for the table. And that's, always had that, so this will be tabled for next week.
Okay.
And in the interim, Randy's gonna talk to him and see if he can talk to his lady.
Okay.
Go from there. Okay. Request to fill a vacant management position in the city department.
I think I sent this to you as a handout. And it was brought to my attention by the plant superintendent that at one time we had a chemist position down there. We're looking at recreating not a chemist position, but a lab tech. And the person that I'd like to see get this, and the person came to him and asked him if we'd be interested. He's a 31-year employee. He's been a plant operator pretty much 20 years down here. He knows the lab, he knows the plant, and he would be a good fit for Greg down here, only because it would give Greg more time to train his maintenance personnel, doing maintenance work and so on. And then the lab tech would be over the operators and training the operators to hopefully become certified as well as the maintenance men become certified. I just want to bring this to your attention to see if you're interested in maybe doing this. I haven't talked to this person. I haven't mentioned anything on the wages because I have no idea what it would pay. But I'm just bringing this to see if the board would be willing to fill that gap right now.
Is he actually certified?
Yes, he is a certified operator now. He'd be certified through the state as he is now.
How many other certified?
Well, we got 2 certified operators, we have 2 not, and as we go, time goes on, we're gonna need more and more certified operators. Even the maintenance men have to be certified, it's a state law. We got some guys wanting to do it, but they can't pass the test, that's the problem. And we get maybe a lab tech that can help teach these guys what they have to do, we might be able to get them certified.
Is there any requirement we have to put this position up for bid?
No, this would be a management job. And we can hire with it.
So the other certified tech?
I mean, he can ask about it, but he doesn't have the time nor the background that this guy has. He's done maintenance, and he's been around the plant his entire time he's worked down there for 31 years. He knows the plant. He's good. He would be a good.
So if you interviewed both of them, this guy would be there.
I haven't interviewed either one, but I know.
If you did, based on your perceptions right now, this
This guy would be a lot far better than the other person.
Any more questions, Randy? What salary range do you think is about?
Well, I don't want to say right now because I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know. It's got to be comparable where he's at now. Maybe a little more because it'll be a promotion. But I just got to, feel the waters out a little bit too. See where he's thinking, and then I go from there. But if this is something the board would like to. That I think we should do. It's going to help. I mean, it'll keep the maintenance man from going out and grabbing samples on a weekly basis. He can do that, which would be good for the maintenance man doing maintenance work. it's just, it'll be a good fit for this department.
I agree, it makes sense.
So basically, I just, if nothing else, your consent that we'll do this, but go ahead and get more information and talk to the person and see what they say, and I can bring it back.
Any objection to that?
No.
All right, okay. Review of the management handbook.
Okay, gave you the sheets here, the page, the whole book. I'll just kind of go through it like I did with the union contract, so I can show you what needed changes. The first page is on page 1, under the president of the board of directors. I put Kenny's name in there, we had Larry George's name previously. There's nothing else that it's got to be a must, nothing changed. The next change is certification pay again, bumping that up to be as equal as what the union personnel get for certification pay for management. That's $200 per certification.
What page is that on?
I'm sorry, page 12. I just tweaked a little bit of the language so it also matches that of items for operator and training, so they know that when they're in training they don't get certification pay until they actually pass the test and they meet the timing requirements on it. The next change is on page 13 under health insurance. Again, this follows that of the union contract for management. Everybody gets their rates increased accordingly. And then on page 24, basically it's just reimbursement for safety shoes for management. We never had a fee in there, but again, it's going to be that of the union contract for $200 per year. So those are the only 4 changes that I.
Okay, any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the management handbook changes as written.
Second.
Motion and second that we accept the review of the management handbook changes as written. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, change order?
Okay, and lastly is our change order, our second change order for the Hitchcock Street tank. There was some extra work that they had to do, which didn't work, but it was timing. And what it was with that hoist they had out there, that hoist was like $5,000, and their extra time, he was asking for like $7,000 in extra money. And I negotiated it down to half for a change order for $3,450, and he agreed to that. So primarily this will increase our tank project cost with our last change order for the mud valve, and this one will bring our final cost for the tank project to $78,150. The original cost was $67,700. So we got a very good job. Unfortunately, we had a few change orders, but the mud valve, that was unforeseen. This one here, I knew there may have been a timing issue, but it wasn't bad at all. It was a couple extra days, plus the hoist. And so I think that the contractor is being fair, he split the cost with us, so I think it's in line that we pay it, and this will be a complete job done.
All right, any additional questions or discussion? Motion.
Move to put table change order. For the
On
horse
your
shop.
agenda, there's a typo, that should be 3450, not 3950.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, to approve the change order. For industrial painting contract. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, any old business? New business. Any public comments? Comments from the director? No other comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.